All right, welcome everyone. My name is Nash Riker with StruggleToVictory.com, and I'm coming with you with another inspirational story from someone that I respect and admire. And I just want to really give you a chance to meet her and listen to what she has to say and what she's doing to live life outside of the rules of conformity and take control of her own destiny and go out and pursue greatness with her life and change lives along the way. So I have with us today here Melanie Cobb. Melanie, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm in beautiful, sunny Santa Cruz, California today. How are you?
Oh, that's so nice. Let me just go ahead and give the viewers some quick perspective about who you are, Melanie, and you can go ahead and you'll fill in some of your story, of course, but I just want to give them some perspective because you're doing some great things and you're out there really making a difference in the world and you're inspiring people with your writing and your transformational coaching. So you're a writer, you're a life transformation coach, a full-time traveler, professional wild woman, which I like that. That was really kick-ass to read that. And you have a website at journeytowildness.com. And also, I just found out that you have a new book coming out soon, which is really exciting. And the book is called Quit That Freaking Job Already, a refreshing perspective on the new world of work. And I love that because I am such a big fan of quitting the 9-to-5 rat race grind and getting out on your own and pursuing your own destiny. So I think that's really cool. So Melanie, why don't we just get started off with, I'd like to just hear a little bit about you, a little bit about your background and what maybe caused you to make the decision to kind of break away from the pack and, the status quo and kind of like go pursue your own greatness and fulfillment. So can you go ahead and get us started a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm from Pennsylvania, from Allentown, a little bit north of Philly. For the past 8 years or so, I've been in the education world. So I graduated Penn State with a BA in English because I've just always loved to write. Always had dreams of being an author. I knew several books have been dancing in my head for years. But I've never really given myself the time to pursue my own writing. I always built these skyscrapers of excuses that I allowed to get in the way. So after college, I began teaching in a Quaker school. And I don't know how much the viewers know about Quakerism. I'm not a Quaker myself. I don't call myself by any particular name, but it's a really cool group of people that are into social justice and environmental sustainability and equality and peace. It's just kind of like how to be a decent human being 101. So my story is interesting because I think when people hear the title of my book or when they find my site, they think that I had this terrible corporate job, that I was stuck in a cubicle from 9 to 5. And I'm grateful to say I've never had to enter that world. I actually really loved my teaching job for the 5 years I had it. And then I became the principal, the middle school principal at age 27. I'm 31 now.
Nice.
So it was a real honor to be given that job. And the pay raise definitely helped finance my travel. But I knew that it wasn't what I wanted to do. I kind of knew it even when I took the job. There was like that little voice inside of me going, "What are you doing? Just because you're being offered this." But it was very culturally acceptable. I was getting all this, "Wow, what an honor, good for you," and everybody was proud of me.
But you kind of knew it wasn't like your lifelong destiny to pursue it for good.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that I was taking a step towards this career path of educational administration and long hours and dealing with angry parents and even though I had a really great supportive group of parents, I still just spent my days putting out fires and I was exhausted and I had less time for my writing. I had less time to travel. I had less contact with the students, which is really my favorite part about the job. And I just started to wither, really.
Got you. All right. What was it that made you make the shift, to do something completely radically different with your life? Obviously going from that you just described to literally traveling the whole world and experiencing all these amazing sights and sounds and people. Like literally right before this call here, I was on your blog and I was checking out your galleries of all your photography and all the pictures you've taken in all these amazing places, and I'm like, writing some of them down on my bucket list, places that I'm going to go. you know, the hot springs in Colorado and all of this, and I was just I'm like, wow, this is so cool, you know. So what was it then that caused you to say, you know what, this isn't what I'm put on this earth to do. This isn't my true destiny. This isn't what's going to bring me the most fulfillment possible in my life. And then you made a shift. And, you know, can you kind of describe that process and what happened there?
Yeah, definitely. I write about this some in my book too. So what happened was that I would spend every summer break traveling as much as I could, and that's where you see the photos on my site come from those galleries. So I backpacked Europe one summer. I've done several road trips around the U.S. I went to Montreal. I went down to Oaxaca, Mexico during a really intense protest where there was no cops in the city, and so it was really exciting time. And so every time I went on one of these trips, I would get like really depressed afterwards, and I would have this like, I gotta go back, and I can't. And I there's this cultural phrase of like, well, you got to come off the mountaintop sometime. So I just kind of accepted that, well, there's really only so much that I can hope for. You know, I should just be happy with like traveling when I can on my breaks, and then I work the rest of the year, and it's a pretty good job. You know, I'm like pretty happy there, and so it's okay. It was all just like almost right.
Yeah,
and
like
so,
mediocre and.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're fitting your dreams into this little tiny box, right? Do you feel like that? I felt that way too, yes.
Yeah, I noticed from you have a pretty amazing story too.
Thank you.
So anyway, it was the summer of 2011 when I was on a road trip cross country, and I was backpacking through Glacier National Park. I've done that a few times. It's one of my favorite places on earth. And this particular trip, I had been hiking for like a good 10 miles. And there's something about the steadiness of boots hitting a trail that just helps me clear my head and have epiphanies. I often have these epiphanies while I'm on the trail.
Nice.
And I was hiking with a friend of mine, Holly, at the time, and having this feeling of like, oh, this trip is almost over, and I'm kind of starting to get that familiar, depressed, I have to go back. And I don't know what it was about that time, but it just hit me, and I stopped in the middle of the trail, and I said, Holly. She turned around and I said, I don't have to do this anymore. Like, I don't have to go back if I don't want to. I can do whatever I want.
Nice.
What if I just switched it, and if I made, you know, my vacation like my whole life? What if I just traveled as a life and wrote, and then, you know, worked just as enough to get by instead of the other way around? And it was so clear to me, like, I don't know if, you know, viewers, you might know that there's like that moment when you hit something that's really true, and everything in my body was like tingling and alive, and it was just like, yes, yes, yes. It was just really supporting that thought.
That's really cool. So yeah, just this major epiphany. Yes, that is really cool. And you know, you described this feeling, and it's kind of the same feeling I think everyone has when they go on vacation, any kind of vacation. Like the last day or two of the vacation, you have that sick feeling in your stomach, like, I got to go back and get into the grind again. And your job really wasn't a grind necessarily, but it wasn't what you were experiencing out there on the trail though. At the same time, that sense of fulfillment and you know, just being connected with yourself and with everything else. Like, so that's really, really cool. So you had this epiphany, and where'd you go from there? Did you immediately quit your job? Did you immediately start traveling? Did you just not come back at all? Or what happened after that?
Well, luckily I still had a few miles on the trail to consider those options. So I kind of ran through the different possibilities. It was about 3 weeks before the start of the school year. And I was the head of the middle school, no longer, you know, a teacher. And this community had become really important to me, and you know, I had valuable relationships with my students and their parents and my coworkers, really respect the head of the school, my boss. So I couldn't feel comfortable walking. I couldn't really get to the point where I could just walk back and say, sorry guys, I'm out, find a new principal in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So that was a really tough year. You know, but I went back and I told my boss right away, I'm clear, this is my last school year. Whenever you want to start the process of looking for my replacement, you know, I'll help you. I'll leave as much as I can. But that was tough. I think there's a reason people give 2-week notices instead of 8-month notices.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, but it
So,
takes
you know,
money stuff.
okay, so one of the themes here of struggle to victory, and also what you do really is to empower people, right? To empower people to go pursue their own destiny and their own internal dreams and hopes and goals, the things that they have inside. That they, so many people, I've met them, and I used to be one myself, and you have all these grand thoughts and visions of what your life could be and what you would like to do and experience. And I don't know what the exact percentage is, but it's probably up in the upper 90 percentile of people just sweep all those things under the rug. They kind of avoid even paying attention to them. I think it's so sad, because they have it inside of them that wants to come out and pursue greatness, experience greatness in their life, and they just don't do it. There's a lot of, and what I've found out anyways, is it's mainly fear that keeps people from taking a step into the unknown. It's the fear of the unknown, right? Because there's a chance of failure. There's the possibility of failure. There's the possibility of being talked about by your friends or coworkers, whatever the case may be, right? Do you have any advice to people that are kind of in this transitional stage right now? They're thinking about this. Because a lot of the people that are coming to the site are kind of in that mode, and they're really, trying to find the right things that they need to really step out and overcome their fears. So what can you advise folks like that to just bust through the fears that they have and experience the bliss on the other side?
Yeah, awesome. That's such a great question and so important. I would say that you would need to get clear with your higher power.
Mm.
And you can call it whatever you want. You can call it God, the source, the Tao, the way, Allah, Buddha, my rainbow sparkling unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care.
Yep.
But I would definitely not be where I am if I hadn't learned how to surrender.
Mm.
It took a lot of humility.
Mm.
The best things that have happened on my trip, the most serendipitous and auspicious meetings of people, money that's just people, I would meet people that'd be like, hey, I have this cool thing. Will you do this for me? I'll give you $100. Like right when I was almost out of money, I'd be almost not find a place to stay. I mean, where I am right now, I'm in the front yard of this amazing family that has been letting me stay with them for free for the past 4 months that I met through couch surfing. So what I would say is that often when fear comes up, what we try to do is micromanage and be in control, and we resist. I know that I resisted the unknowing by trying to if I can make this happen, if I can just plan really well and know that I have something to fall back on, then it'll be okay. And I would encourage the viewers to get rid of that. Like you can't know what beauty there is for you to fall back into until you do it. Like you kind of have to take that leap of faith, and the more you see that when you take the leap, there's something there to catch you, that the universe is a benevolent, generous place that wants to support our growth. And so it's not like some force out there waiting for us to make a bad decision just to say, haha, you failed, now you're penniless and poor. That's not how the world works.
I agree. Great advice. That's really, really good advice. I'm the same way. I have a lot of the same views as you, and I believe a lot in trusting the universe, that the universe knows what you need. And when we try and control every little single aspect of our life and every little outcome, that can get really frustrating, because the fact is we can't be in control of everything, so you just set yourself up for disappointment and things like that when you do. So when you just, I really like that. And one of the things too is just being able to witness people like you and what you're doing and the boldness and courage that you have. To me, it strengthens me. It inspires me. And I see that, wow, there's people like Melanie are doing this out there, living life, loving life, really, pursuing what they want to do. And there's no reason that I can't do that either, because there's countless people around the world doing this. And so I think that's great. And fear, I'm telling you, and I heard a quote that says, everything that we desire in our life lies outside of our comfort zone. Because we fit ourselves into this little box of comfort, and we wonder why we're not fulfilled, though. Well, that's exactly why. That's exactly why. We got to step out of that comfort zone, step into the unknown a little bit, and let the universe bring miracles into our life and bring amazing experiences into our life. Very, very cool, Melanie. So, now, I don't know, what's really on your heart that you might want to share with the viewers. I got a couple topics in mind. Like, I think it's very important for people to be prepared to overcome setbacks and struggles and failures and disappointments, right? Because, well, that's usually the number one cause of fear, right? Is those things right there. What about if I struggle, if I fail, if I have setbacks? So those kind of things are inevitable, right? They're inevitable. We can't avoid them all the time. We can be smart and avoid some of them, right? Navigate around some obstacles and some challenges, but naturally, life brings challenges and setbacks into our life. So if we're not prepared for that mentally, emotionally, spiritually, to be able to handle that and get through it with ease, then, that right there, even though we had this big vision and goal, it could take it away from us and put us right back into that little box in the split second, right? So do you have any advice on, like, how to overcome struggles or how to prepare for them, or when they do hit you, how do you just keep going?
Yeah, I definitely have something I want to say about that. One thing that I learned on this journey was that my fear of something bad happening was always worse than the something bad itself. Because I actually had the gift of pretty much everything I was afraid might happen did. What if I run out of money? I did, several times. What if my car breaks down? I did, twice. What if I get lonely? Shit, I traveled 9,000 miles in my car by myself.
Wow.
A lot of time
by myself.
and a major relationship in my life had just ended before I left, and so that was lots of time for me to really think over that, too. And God, what else? What if I can't find a place to stay? I did. What if people, like you said, make fun of me, like that basic child fear of like, what if people make fun of me? What if people say that what I'm doing is foolish and stupid? And they did. For every 10 people like you that would write to me and say, wow, thanks for what you're doing, I would get one that was like, what right do you have? Like, how dare you step out of it? How selfish, how narcissistic, how... I had a family member, even like an extended family member that was really like, it's so stupid for you to go out on your own as a single woman, and
wow,
crazy little bitch. And I was just like, wow.
Damn.
And, I was like, that's not about me at all. Like, whatever, that's something that you're carrying, and bless you. I hope you work through it, but I'm not going to take that on.
Right on.
Yeah, so I would say that I'm really glad that those things happened, because I could see what they looked like. They were these terrible monsters of events in my head that, I don't, if this happens, I'm just going to crumble and die. I don't know, I'm just going to like evaporate into the ethers of the universe. And it didn't. And when I got there, I saw that, this higher power and I that I've been developing a relationship with over this journey totally could handle it. It wasn't comfortable necessarily, but I'm way stronger because of it. And I'm not as afraid of that stuff anymore, because I can point to all those times and say, wow, look how we got through that.
Nice. That's so cool. Great point. Like, when we do get faced with a challenge or a struggle, as soon as we decide to bust through it and to overcome it, like, it builds our strength, right? It empowers us, right? That's exactly the key. And that's why, every success book I've ever read, every successful person that I've ever studied, they all talk about the same thing, that failure and setbacks and struggles are part of it. You have to go through those in order to grow into the person that you need to become to experience life at the level you want to experience it at. So it's like you have to. So, if these are necessary steps along the way, and people are avoiding taking the necessary steps, they can't expect to actually ever get there, right? So there's nobody I've ever met that pursued greatness of any type that just had a perfect path there, no struggles, no setbacks, no problems. I don't know of anybody like that. So, so it's just unrealistic to have that expectation. So you might as well, expect that things, expect the unexpected, right? Expect things like that to happen. Get ready to bust right through it and get ready to be empowered when you do, right? So I love it. Very cool. Another thing that I like to share with people and empower people with is to discover their own creative expression somehow, and to be able to offer value to the world with that. Because I've been, we've lived for so long in an employee-based society, right? Where just about everybody's an employee. But I've been reading a lot how the whole world is shifting, and because consciousness is shifting, technology is shifting, that we're actually shifting into an entrepreneurial-based society where the majority of people will become self-employed entrepreneurs. The internet empowers us to do that. The internet empowers us to take whatever unique, and I believe all of us have a unique creative ability inside of us, creative expression, that we can offer unique value to the world in some way, because there is only one Melanie Cobb ever in existence, right? There's only one. There's only one Nash Riker ever in the world, right? So you and I have amazing, unique things to bring and share to the world, right? And the internet allows us to do that and just connect with people, share a message, and earn a living from, right? So what can you say about, because I think that because everyone is so closed in this box, because everyone is taught to not dream big and to not think outside of their limitations, right? That they don't really discover that creative part of them, right? They don't discover what kind of value they can offer to the world. I get on your site, your blog, and I'm seeing value all over the place. Like every paragraph that I read is offering value, right? And inspiration and cool stuff, man. I'm like, yeah, this chick rocks. So it makes my life better just reading the words on your page, right? And so, but anybody can do that, right? Anybody can write words on a page. But so what kind of advice can you share for people that are looking to do that, be able to offer value to the world with their own creativity?
Yeah. I mean, I went through a process of really looking into myself and figuring out what Gay Hendricks in his book called The Big Leap, which I read recently, he calls the zone of genius. What is in my zone of genius as opposed to my zone of excellence. And I think I was living in my zone of excellence when I was a school principal. I mean, I was good at it, and I could have done it for a while. And I think that many people can easily fall into that trap of I'm pretty good at this, and I could kind of eke out this for a while. But I guess the advice I would give is, one, ask. Ask yourself, ask the people in your life, be shameless about it. Asking questions like, what do you count on me for? When you come to me, when you call me, when you read my blog, when you are in my presence, what happens for you? What shows up? How do you see the world when I'm around?
Nice.
And you just got to get over the whole, oh, that's such a self-centered question. Who cares? Whatever. Because I'm not asking it for a self-serving way. I'm not sitting there just to be ooh, make my ego feel good.
Yeah.
I'm asking because I really want to hone in on what that is so I can offer it in the best possible way to the universe. So I would say really ask of people that are around you, and be willing to listen. You might not always like the answers that you get, but that's okay. Listen, and then really ask your body. I've gotten into this habit too of, I was talking about on the trail, how I sort of lit up. I think everyone's had experiences like that at some point, and I find that the more I really pay attention to what's happening in my body, when I'm speaking or when I'm making decisions, it knows. From the neck down, my body has wisdom in it that my mind sometimes tries to override.
Oh, yes.
So when I try to start figuring well, I should get more followers on Twitter, and I should, how can I figure this out? And I got to get more coaching clients, and that's all happening up here. And then once I really run an idea, like, well, I have this idea for the book, and I sit with it, and I don't try to figure. I just let it kind of inhabit me, like marinate in it.
Mm.
Oh, I get like like an expansive feeling in my chest, or I'll get like a knot in my stomach, and um, so I do. I think the short answer is step one: ask people around you. Step two: really be willing to have moments of silence and stillness with yourself.
Tap into
Um,
your own intuition.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
because even if your brain is trying to tell you you don't, your body knows.
That's excellent, excellent advice right there. Yeah, because there's two different worlds. There's the emotional, spiritual world of feeling and everything, and then there's the world of thought, right? And you're right. The just the world of thought, I think, is very limited. The world of intuition, though, is a whole different ball game, you know. And I had a similar conversation with a friend of mine recently that was also trying to find his value to offer to the world, right? It's like, all right, I want to do online business. I want to make, full-time living from the internet. What kind of value can I bring to the world? And so I told him to, same thing as you, like get rid of all the, the self-serving thoughts, like you think that making a list of all your top qualities is self-serving in some way. But you're, like you said, you're doing it to be able to offer value to the world. You have to identify these things though first. What I told him is sit down and write down on a piece of paper all of the best qualities that you have, because everybody has amazing qualities if they're willing just to admit it to themselves, whether it's just being a good listener, being a good friend, being loyal, being dependent, right, being caring, loving, whatever the case may be. But all of these qualities, if you write out a big list of those and then do what you said, like sit and just meditate on that and just let it flow through your body, let your body tell you, and you'll get insights, right? You will get insights into yourself as to, wow, yes, I can offer some amazing value because of these qualities that I have. So that, tremendous, tremendous. Let's see here. Do you have any, Melanie, do you have any kind of insights or any parting words that you'd like to share? We got probably a few more minutes here, but I want to really just keep getting your perspective on life and just what's important to you and what you think. Maybe just pretend you're speaking to your own audience from your own blog, because it's going to be same people, same type of people looking for the same things in life. What would you recommend for anybody just looking to get more happiness, fulfillment, joy, peace of mind in their life? What would you recommend?
To stop being a victim.
Oh, wow.
That was a big step for me. Once I stopped blaming everyone else for any unhappiness, it's I'm in charge of my life, and I allow in what I want, and I don't allow in what I don't want. And when others do or say things and I have emotions in the presence of that, it doesn't mean they're doing it to me. It doesn't mean it's their fault. They're on their perfect path, just like me. They're doing the best they can. So as soon as I really started taking responsibility for how my life showed up, there was a lot of movement. Because I think sometimes what I see, because I bet you and I run in the same type of internet circles of, reading stories of positivity and inspiration and travel and entrepreneurship. And I'm really drawn to the ones where, with the absence of victimhood and the absence of resentment. Because sometimes there's a story of like, oh, I had this thing and it was really terrible and shitty, or these people did this thing to me, so I broke out. And I'm not about that. Like, I think that we're in what I mean by the new world of work in my book is, like a lot of our parents and our grandparents' generations they might not really understand what we're doing because we're not working in the same way that they did. But that doesn't mean they're wrong. They served life to the best way they knew how, and now we're taking it somewhere new, and we don't need them to understand what we're doing. And we can love them and thank them for their, even if viewers, if you've got an awful boss or a really terrible work environment, you can bow to that and thank that person or that situation for being a teacher to you and really making it clear what you don't want.
Nice.
So I would say, like, really just stay in the positivity, stay in the love, stay in that hopeful, compassionate vibration, and don't just totally bypass all that victimhood and negativity. It's not going to get you anywhere.
That's great, dude. That is such a powerful way to end this interview, because that's I mean, I could point to countless examples of that. I mean, I lived that way too, as far as being a victim, feeling a victim of my circumstances. That's when I was rock bottom in my life and I was actually going through suicidal tendencies and all of that. It was due to that, like feeling like a victim, like, everybody was out to get me, the world was out to get me. When I shifted my perspective, though, through a couple books that I was reading and things, I shifted my whole perspective, like from the inside, like, I just don't perceive life the same way anymore. I don't perceive the world the same way anymore, and now I can see how I am fully in control of my life. I'm fully in control of the results that I produce in my life, and that is just so empowering. That right there was it. That is what has empowered me to go on to really create a big vision for my life, and really the greatness that I want to share with the world came from just understanding that I'm not a victim. I'm actually in control. And yeah, bad things happen to me, negative things happen to me, but I let the negative situations get worse in my life because of my reaction to them, because I reacted from a victim standpoint. Then I didn't turn those situations around like I could have. You know what I mean? That situations progressed and got worse. So what a huge nugget of wisdom right there. And I really appreciate you sharing. I know that this interview, this talk, is going to inspire thousands of people, and help them overcome some of these rocky places in life, making this transition. And I just want everyone to know that there's more out there for you. There's more out there for you than what society has maybe instilled in you up to this point, or what society has made you believe is available to you at this point. The reason I love to get people like Melanie on here is just to break the mold, just to shatter those misconceptions about what life is all about, what you can do with your life, and that there's no excuse good enough for you to like give up on your dreams and goals and hopes and aspirations. There's no excuse good enough out there, So listen, Melanie, I love that you were with us. I really appreciate your time. Let me go ahead and just let the viewers know where to find you again. Actually, why don't you do that? Why don't you let the viewers know wherever you would like them to visit you, or whatever you'd like them to check out about what you're doing?
Yeah. So, viewers, I'd love to have you come check out my site. It's www.journeytowildness.com. You can find out more about my book called Quit That Freaking Job Already. Should be out late summer, early fall, whenever it's ready to be born.
Nice.
It'll be out, but I blog there pretty regularly about my travel experiences, my growth. There's, as Nash mentioned, there's a travel gallery. This interview will go up, link to this interview, and Nash's site will be up there soon. So I would love to have you stop by, and I'm happy to connect with people. I answer a lot of emails from people just writing in and asking about their lives. Some of those relationships turn into life coaching relationships for people that really want to go deeper, which is such an honor to partner with people on those journeys. Some of them are just one email back and forth, and I continue to hold those people. Every time I get an email, I really send that person some light, because your success is my success, your joy is my joy. We're in this together. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Nash. This was really fun.
Good.
It's an honor.
Well, yes. Yeah. I'm very honored to have you, Melanie. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to another interview. We'll connect again sometime in the future and do this again and get some more perspective from you. So, all right, well, I'll let you get back to enjoy your beautiful day out there. And so this is Nash Riker signing off from StruggleToVictory.com. Check out Melanie and everything she's got going on, and go pursue your destiny with boldness and passion and confidence. Go out there and make it happen. We love all of you. Peace out.